And Friday, the Lashon Kodesh, which is the Holy Tongue. UK time, that is 12 a.m. What do you call us? GMT? Is it GMT? GMT time, that is 12 a.m. Also, check out classes here in the UK. 394 Lodge Road, B18, Hockley. We have classes here Monday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. So come on down and experience a class in person. Also remember to pay your tithes. And today we're going to go into a few scriptures on marriage and how a good wife should be towards a husband and how a husband should be towards a wife. And if they stayed together, you wouldn't have your child molesting uncle being able to come through and do whatever he likes, man. Because I don't know if you've seen the statistics, but a lot of kids which is molested is their parents are single parents, like they live at home along with their mother, man. There's no strong black man in the house. Now, if there was a strong black man in the house, these child molesters would, and the ones in your family, they would know not to touch your child, man. Because they would know that's a black man who don't play. Obviously, if your father's a Christian, obviously they'll probably still do it. But if your father's a strong black man, especially in the UPK, no one wants to come close, man, because they know that we don't play those games. Give me, we're also going to show you a woman's position in the Bible and a man's and so forth, and how it's supposed to be, man, because there's no such thing as a 50-50 relationship. 50-50 relationship means what? There's no one in charge. It means you just do whatever you want, do whatever pleases you. In life, there's rank and order. There's a system in place of how things are supposed to be. If it's a 50-50 relationship, that's like your kid coming home and saying, "Oh, I'm not going to listen to you today because it's 50-50." Same way your kids know you're in charge. There's always the man's also in charge in the relationship, man. And the white man, he twists it and tells, what does it say? He's controlling. The white man twists it and says, "Oh, he's controlling. Leave him." So the thing is now, if a man tries to have some control in his household, what do they do? Want to get rid of him? Want to be single? Saying no man can tell me what to do. It's 50-50. The Lord ain't made it 50-50, man. Give me Genesis chapter 2 and verse 18. So yeah, Genesis the 2nd chapter and verse 18.
Genesis 2 and 18. And the Lord God said, "It is not good that the man should be alone."
And the Lord said, it's not good that the man should be alone. Because at this time, Adam was alone with no woman and so forth. The Lord said, it's not good that the man should be alone, man. And this is how you know that men need women, man, and women need men. Because the Lord said it's not good that Adam should be alone. Meaning, as a man, obviously, if you want to be single, that's up to you. But for men like myself, read that, because this applies to men like myself. Go ahead.
It is not good that the man should be alone.
It is not good that the man should be alone, man. The Lord made the woman for the man. The Lord made the man, and his job is to protect that woman, man. The Lord said it's not good that the man should be alone. So when you say you're going to leave your man, you're supposed to stay with your man. What does the Bible say?
It is not good that the man should be alone.
And once you have sex with a man, you're not supposed to leave him, man. Once you have sex with a woman, you ain't supposed to leave her, because the Lord said it's not good that the man should be alone. This was at the time Adam didn't have no rib. Go ahead.
I will make an helpmeet for him.
How about what?
Make an helpmeet for him.
The Lord said he's going to make a helpmeet. So when a man has a woman, she's meant to be a helpmeet. What's a helpmeet? A helpmeet is a helper, man. Someone that helps you out. Someone that helps you through, like someone that makes your life easier, man. They ain't supposed to make your life harder. They ain't supposed to stress out your life to where you don't even want to come home no more. The Lord said, I'm making him a helpmeet. The Lord didn't say, I'm going to make him a monster. The Lord didn't say, I'm going to make him a loudmouth. The Lord said, I'm going to make him a helpmeet. Meaning what? You're supposed to help this black man. Go ahead.
And out of the ground, the Lord formed every beast of the field.
Go ahead.
And every fowl of the air, and brought them unto Adam, see what he would call them. Now,
this is the Lord bringing the animals unto Adam to see what he would name them. So Adam saw them and named all the animals you see today. Go ahead.
And brought them unto Adam, and see what he would call them. And whatsoever Adam called every living creature, that was the name thereof.
So Adam named the creatures. Go ahead.
And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to all the fowl of the air, and every beast of the field. But for Adam there was not found an helpmeet for him.
So after all that, there was no helpmeet found for Adam, man. So the Lord saying, you know what? This man needs a rib, man. He needs a helpmeet. He needs a woman. He needs a wife. The Lord saying, this man needs a wife. Like every other man out there needs a wife, man. Go ahead.
Verse 21. And the Most High caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept.
Now, when it says the Lord God formed a deep sleep, it's not talking about Adam slept and forgot to press his alarm to wake up and whatnot. It just means, obviously, the Lord put the spirit on Adam, and Adam wasn't aware of what he was doing right now. Go ahead.
And he slept, and he took one of his ribs.
And what's a rib? A rib, what was his family members, man? This is who the Lord chose to be Adam's wife. One of his ribs, go ahead.
And closed up the flesh instead thereof.
And he closed it up, meaning what? All right, Adam, this is your rib. I'm going to close up the flesh thereof. This is your family now. That's what it means when he says he took a rib and closed up the flesh. Go ahead. Ain't talking about he took a rib from his side and then gave him a surgical, what's it called? Gave him stitches. He ain't talking about that, man. Go ahead.
And the rib which the Lord thy God had taken from man, made he a woman.
Did what?
Made he a woman.
So people are gonna say, oh, this is when Eve was created. It says he made him a woman. It's not talking about that, man. You know when people say he's a made man. This is a made woman, man, meaning what? The Lord made here a woman, meaning what? A woman that keeps the law, statutes, and commandments. That's how you become a made woman. That's how you become a made man, doing what God requires of you. The Lord made him a woman who keeps the law, statutes, and commandments, meaning this lady was brought into the knowledge of the truth also. That's all it's talking about when it says made here a woman. Go ahead.
And brought her unto the man.
Go ahead.
And Adam said, this is now a bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
And Adam said, this is now bones of my bones and flesh of my flesh. The reason he said bone of my bone is because this is a family member that he's about to start a family with. That's what it said, bone of my bone. Because this is his bone that he's going to start a family with. Bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh, meaning he's going to start a family. Meaning this is his family who's about to start a family with. Go ahead.
Verse 23. And Adam said, this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. And he called her name woman, so she was taken out of man. And
she was taken out of man, meaning what? She was taken out from the midst of everybody else, man, and delivered to this man to be his helpmeet, to be his woman, and so forth. And the Lord requires a woman to be kind to her husband, to be affectionate, not to be how the Christian church teaches you how it is, not to be argumentative on Facebook, arguing with everyone. Give me a Proverbs chapter 19 and verse 14. So that's step one, man. In a relationship, a woman's supposed to be a helpmeet to her husband, man. Give me Proverbs 19 verse 14.
Proverbs 19 and 14. House and riches are the inheritance of fathers.
It says house and riches are inheritance of fathers, meaning what? You inherit these from your fathers. Your father has a house. When your father passes away, the house goes to you. These riches is inherited from your fathers. Obviously, nowadays we're in captivity, so we don't get no inheritance like that. Some people do, some of us don't. But back then, obviously, your father would have riches, houses, jewelry, gold, whatever, and you would inherit it when your father passes away. Read that again.
House and riches are inheritance of fathers.
House and riches are inheritance from your fathers. Go ahead.
And a prudent wife is from the Lord.
I know what.
And a prudent wife is from the Lord.
And what does prudent mean? Prudent's another word for kind, man. A good wife, a kind wife is from the Lord. And this is why the 6 months rule is so important. Because a kind wife is from the Lord. But the reason most people's relationships mess up is because they don't know the law, so they don't know what to look for when choosing a woman. So they would choose a woman that where she's just beautiful, where she looks good, where she's got big breasts, big behind. That's what they would choose. Where it says a prudent wife, a kind wife is from the Lord. Now, obviously, what you got to realize is how can they say it in a nice way, Crofty, where looks ain't everything, but obviously everyone wants a good looking rib, but I'm just saying, obviously, a good looks ain't everything, man. Because that woman could be a monster and then you won't find her attractive no more. So a prudent wife is from the Lord, meaning you come in here, you do your 6 months, and then you'll get a wife, man. After they choose to court you, or you choose to court them, A prudent wife meaning a kind wife, a woman that treats you good, that's going to cook you meals, that's going to meal prep for you, that's going to help you do this and that, man. That's going to help you out. A good wife from the Lord. But most people don't know what it's like to have a good wife because they don't know how to pick a wife. Most people just pick the first hoe that comes their way, the first hoe that's in their DMs. Most people pick the first hoe that messages them saying, hey, when choosing a wife, man, you meant to take your time and make sure this one's right because it's for life. Go ahead.
Slothfulness.
That's it. Give me Exodus 22 and verse 16.
Exodus 22 and 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her.
So if a man entice a maid, meaning what? A man spits game to a sister that's not engaged to no one. You know how it goes. You see a woman, man, and you game her up. She says, oh, every man says that you game her up, saying, nah, man, listen, I'm going to stay with you, man. Come on, let's just, spit some game, whisper a few words in her ear and whatnot. You entice her, get her feeling good. You get her to give in. First, she'll probably say, nah, we're not doing nothing, but, you spit some game and, like that in the crowd, you spit some game and whatnot. Go ahead. You entice her.
That is not betrothed.
That's not engaged, meaning she ain't promised to another man.
And lie with her. He shall surely endow her to be his wife.
So if you lie with her, you should take her to be your wife. You know why? Because sex is marriage. That's why. So this is why the Christian church lie to you and say, oh, if you're not married, there's no such thing as adultery. If you're not, if you ain't walked down the aisle, not realizing half these women that you be sleeping with is married already, man. That's been because sex is marriage. Most women don't know that sex is marriage, so they believe they're gonna have sex with every man they see until one day they find the one. One day they happen to find the one, and then everybody else was a mistake, and now they think, okay, I can get married to this one, not realizing every time you have sex with a new man, man, sex is marriage. And this is why in the UPK the 6-month rule is so important, because marriage is for a lifetime. Marriage ain't just for a week. Marriage ain't just until she gives you a headache and does your head in. Marriage is for life, man. Marriage is until you die. Marriage is until she dies. That's how long marriage is. So this is why the 6 months rule is so important. You can't be dealing with everyone, because most people you ain't even compatible with, man. Most men have sex with women they don't even know. They don't know nothing about them, nothing at all. All you know is she's got a good body. That's it. That's all you know. You go and have sex with her. That's your wife. 2 weeks in, she does your head in. You block her on WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram. You block her on everything. You see her, you ignore her, not really realizing that's your wife, man. Because you've had sex with her and now you put her away, which is a sin, man. Which means you cause her to go and deal with another man, and then before you know it. And then now, this is why we have a nation full of hoes. This is why we have a nation full of hoes. Because not a lot of people know that sex is marriage. If we did know, our nation would have less hoes, man. Our nation would have less AIDS. Our nation would have less chlamydia and gonorrhea. Our nation would have less R. Kellys, man. That sneaks in and molests everyone's kids, man. Because these fathers would be around in the house. Give me Genesis chapter 24 and verse 63.
Genesis 24 and 63. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted up the camel. And she said unto her servant, what man is this that walketh in the field to meet us? And the servant had said, it is thy master. Therefore she took a veil.
She did what?
Took a veil.
She showed humility, man. She saw this man and showed humility. She was shamefaced. She was shamefaced, man. She weren't proud. She didn't have her nails all up in Isaac's face and whatnot. This was a sister, man, that knew her position and knew to humble herself, man, before great men and so forth. Not to run up her mouth and argue with them and so forth. Go ahead.
And covered herself.
And what?
And covered herself.
And what?
And covered herself.
And she and this is how you know The white man's the devil, man. She covered herself. What do women do now when they see a man? They uncover themselves, man. When a woman sees a man she likes today, what does she do? Puts on a little skirt, make sure she has a whole bottle of baby oil on her legs so they're extra shiny, just so he notices her, man. They don't come with humbleness and humility, man. Because they know that men love whores, so this is why nowadays they come dressed as whores. Now, if brothers stopped loving whores and started to like women that are covered up, these women would put some clothes on there behind men. Because they know, all right, then, men don't like women that are covered up. They just uncover themselves, dress half naked and whatnot. Go ahead.
And the servant told Isaac all the things that he had done. And Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent and took Rebekah.
And Isaac did what?
Took Rebekah.
So this is another scripture that lets you know that sex is marriage. Isaac brought her into his mother Sarah's tent. It didn't say Isaac took her to the church for a ceremony. It didn't say Isaac took her to what's that church called in London, the big one where all these posh people get married? Harry got married there. What's it called? Cathedral. It didn't say took her to the cathedral. It didn't say took her to Westminster. Where did he take her?
Into his mother, Rebecca's tent.
He took her into his mother's tent, man. He took her into his mother's tent, meaning what, her house? And black man, you've took a lot of women in your mother's house, man. Listen, this Bible's a black man's book. They didn't go to no cathedral. They didn't have no anniversary, no celebration. He took her to the house, man. Same way you would take women to your house, man. That's where the marriage takes place, in the house, in the bedroom. Go ahead.
And took Rebekah, and she became his wife.
And what?
And she became his wife.
And it says he took Rebekah and she became his wife, meaning what? He had sex with her. She became his wife. She became his rib, man. He had sex with her and she became his property, man, meaning he became her head. He became the man to rule over her and everything. Give me a Proverbs chapter 18 and verse 22. And sex is marriage. If a lot more people knew this, you'd be careful who you lay down with, man. If you need that, it's for a lifetime. But in this kingdom, under the white man, we taught that sex is something where you just do it with anyone because it feels good. You do it with anyone because it passes the time. But in reality, sex is marriage, and it's a big step. It's not no little step like church makes you believe. Go ahead. Same way, in the white man's kingdom, you look at a woman and you know if she's the one you'd walk down the aisle with. You know if you would walk down the aisle with her. Before you have sex with a sister, you can look at it that way. If you can't see yourself walking down the aisle with her, don't even sleep with her, man. Because sex is marriage. Go ahead.
Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing.
Whoso what?
Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing.
It says, whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing. Meaning, having a wife is meant to be a good thing. Meant to be a good thing, man. It's not meant to be all tears and you upset every day and fights and her not listening to you and her putting your clothes in a black bag. You come home, the locks is changed. Yeah, man. Or you come home, everything's gone, no furniture because she's done moved out. And listen, when you find a wife, you're supposed to find a good thing, not a headache. Read that again.
Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing.
Go ahead.
And obtain the favor of the Most High.
And when you find a wife, you find a good thing and abstain the favor from the Most High. But the thing is, the reason you ain't finding a good wife and a good thing is because you don't know the first steps to finding a good wife. You don't know the first steps to what a good woman is. And women don't know the first steps to what a good man is. Women think a good man is someone who submits to them, lets them do anything they want, lets them get away with murder. That's what they think. That's what they think a good husband is. But that's a damn lie. In the white man's world, a homosexual is a good husband. In the white man's world, a soft man, softly spoken, doesn't raise his voice, doesn't call the shots, lets the relationship be 50-50, lets you dress anyhow you want, lets the kids do anything they want. The Lord don't want relationships to be like that, man. Read that again.
Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing.
Whoso findeth a wife, findeth a good thing, man. In Genesis it says, when Isaac married Rebecca, was it? He didn't. Yeah, when Isaac married Rebecca, it says she comforted him, man, after his mother Sarah's death. Meaning what? She was a helpmeet. She helped the brother out, man. He was down, stressed. Imagine this: your mom's just passed, man, and you need someone to, just be there for you. That's what Rebecca was. She was there for him. She was a helpmeet, a good woman. Whereas nowadays, that happens nowadays. Your woman probably tell you, "Oh, get over it." She probably tell you, "Oh, man up, everybody dies." That's what she probably tell you, man. Get you a good woman that's a helpmeet, that's tender, that's soft, that's kind. Instead of a monster that's in the club every single week, with chipped toenails. You know them ones where the toenails are chipped. The nail varnish ain't even neat. Get you a real woman, man. Someone soft and tender and prudent, like the Lord said, and who's a good wife. A good thing, man. Want more for your life instead of just wanting to have sex with any and anybody. Yeah, a good thing, man. A good wife. And also, if you got any questions, just type them in. Any questions, just type them in and we'll get to them. But today we're going into various topics. So yeah, man, this is why the 6 months rule in the school is so important. That's why the 6 months rule is so golden, man. The 6 months rule ain't there for no reason. I think people think the rule's there for no reason. The rule's there for a reason. Because you get to know someone. You get to know if they're a good person and so forth. Give me 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 1.
1 Corinthians 11 and 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I am of Christ.
And this is Paul speaking. Paul said, be a follower of him, even as he is a follower of Christ. And this is why in this time, we are followers of commanding GEN.YAHANNA, the same way as he is a follower of Christ. That don't mean we worship him. You don't mean that. Paul said, read that, what Paul said.
Be ye followers of me, even
exactly
as
the same thing, man. Same thing, man. Go ahead.
Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things,
go ahead,
and keep the ordinances that I delivered.
And he said, keep the ordinances, which means orders. Keep the orders that he delivered unto you. Go ahead.
For I would have you know that the head of every man is Yahushua.
So it says the head of every man is Christ, meaning that's who man answers to, Christ. That's who's over them. So who's over man? Christ is over man. Go ahead.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the what?
And the head of the woman is the man.
And it says, and the head of the woman is the man, meaning what? That man is in charge of that household, man. That man is the man of the house. Because he's the head of the woman, meaning he's in control. He calls the shots. That's who you answer to. Your man, which is your husband. Nowadays, read that again.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man, meaning the man's in charge. So now, if a lot of women understood that a man was in charge and the man was the head of the house, our killer wouldn't be able to come in your house and molest your children, man. Because you'd have a strong black man in the house that's going to stand up and that's going to be there. And when you look at the statistics, most kids which is molested is from single parent homes. You know why? Because there's no strong man in the house. There's no man which is the head of the house. Read that again.
And the head of the woman is the man.
And the head of the woman is the man, meaning the man's in charge, man. Go ahead.
Every man praying or prophesying.
That's it on that. Give me Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 22. So there it said the head of the woman is the man. So first step is this. If you don't want no man to be your head and you want to do whatever you want, and you want to operate like you're single, like you can do anything you want, just don't have sex, man. Sex is marriage. So if you ain't willing to obey a man, just don't have sex. And even if you still have to obey a man, because until you're married, your father's your head. So you always have to answer to a man. Go ahead.
No, the R. Kelly situation. No, in the Bible, what is the age of like a girl can get married? Some people say 16, what I thought 16. Like, what's the oldest?
Usually, what's that scripture about when she passed the age of it? What's it called when she blossoms and whatnot? What one is it? Nah, it's not that early. No way, that's a child.
Yeah.
How it is, yeah. Women kind of mature at different ages, right? Women mature at different ages, so you have to go based by that. But 11's way too young, 12's way too young. There's still babies at that stage, so it's best to wait until she matures. I'd say what age would you say about?
There's no set age.
There's no set ages.
But a flower blossoms when it blossoms. Every flower don't blossom. When it goes past the age of flower, it blossoms. The dad's choice, the dad will look and see how she operates. And you know what I mean? And we'll know at that age.
But yeah, just no kids, that's all. No, R. Kelly, how was the youngest girls he dealt with? I ain't even. 12. Nah, not them ages. She's still a kid. Still in. Do you even do your stats test by 12? You don't, do you? So nah, that's way too young. Go ahead. Ephesians 5:22.
Ephesians 5:22. Wives, submit yourself unto your own husbands.
It says, wives, submit yourself, man. Meaning what? Do as your husband says, lawfully. Obviously, if your husband's telling you to eat pork, obviously you don't eat pork because that's unlawful. Obviously, you obey your husband lawfully, but you don't obey your husband when he's telling you to do something unlawful, because what did Christ say? Who puts a wife and husband before me is not worthy of me. So if you put anyone else, if you put anyone else telling you to break the laws before Christ, obviously you ain't worthy of him. So being subject to your own husbands when it's things which is lawful, but obviously anything unlawful, obviously you obey the Most High first, and he says don't eat pork, so obviously you can't eat pork. Go ahead.
As unto the Most High.
So you obey. You read it again from the top.
Wives, submit yourselves.
So you submit yourselves to your husbands, same like you would submit yourselves to God, man. You can't be saying to your husband, "Oh, you don't rule over me," this and that. You submit to him like his God, man. That's what it says right there. These ain't my words. Go ahead.
For the husband is the head of the wife.
For the what?
For the husband is the head of the wife.
It says for the husband is the head of the wife, meaning the husband, he's the person you go to, he's in charge and so forth. Go ahead.
For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahushua is the head of the church.
Even so, the husband is the head of the wife, even as Yahushua is the head of the schoolman. Go ahead. Same way Yahushua is over the school, is the same way a man's over his wife and his kids. Same way. Go ahead.
And he is the savior of the body.
And he's the what?
Savior of the body.
And this husband is the savior of the body. Now, what's the body? The body is you, your kids. Your husband is the savior of that body. And if you served your husband, him being the savior of the body, R. Kelly wouldn't be able to molest your children, man. Because he's the savior of the body, meaning he's the savior of you. He's going to save you and your kids, man. He's there to protect and give guidance and everything. Go ahead.
But after the video, I can't know that. So the video it says that basically put the mouth for the mom.
Yeah, play it if you got it on there. I seen it when he said he turned the cup around. That was weird. What did he say? His mom's lips. I just heard him say there was lipstick on the cup, and he turned it around and drank it from where the lipstick was.
He said he's a fancy mom.
So he said. R. Kelly's gaming.
And she'd leave the ring of lipstick on coffee with she. And I remember when she would give me mine, I would sit, turn it around. And I would drink from her lipstick part. Because in a certain other way, serious. She could sing.
But he say, "Kush good what?"
I sing up and down to the loud, everything I know, love it. And I even asked her to marry me one day. And she said no. But you know what?
Yes, there's mom to marry him. you say he asked his mom to marry him?
Like, that's happened in my house. The kids in their mom's shoes.
Exactly.
No, it's
R. Kelly's gay as hell, man. He asked his mom to marry him, and he turned the cop around to drink from her lipstick, and he said he had a crush on his mom in a mother and son way. There's no such thing as a crush on your mom in a mother and son way. He said because he really loved his mom. Listen, if you loved your mom, yeah, you would obey God and get your mom to obey God, man. That's love. Love is an action. Love ain't you. And that's what happens when there's no father in the house. When there's no father in the house, your kids become weak, feminine, and they become like R. Kelly. And then before you know it, these children that are being molested grow up and start molesting other kids, man. And this is the case with R. Kelly. Was R. Kelly molested?
Yeah.
He was. How did I know? See, I can look at R. Kelly and I can tell he was molested. R. Kelly molesting all these little girls, man. 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds, singing he believes he can fly and this and listen. Read on. Ephesians 5.
So let the wives, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything.
And you have to be subject to your husband in everything, man. A good wife is subject to her husband, meaning she understands he's in charge. She understands he rules. Go ahead. And if that was the case, there'd be less R. Kellys around, man. There's some next big child molesters. What's the next one's name? There's tons of them, man. But obviously R. Kelly's the main one right now. R. Kelly's in everybody's bad books right now because of that 6 parts. That 6 parts. All the young girls giving interviews. What did they say? It was like he had a hold on them. They were saying it was like he had a hold on them. R. Kelly urinating on people. Why don't you just go to the toilet? Like normal people just go to the toilet. Why do you want to urinate on someone? Like I don't understand what goes through his head. Like straight out, R. Kelly should have been sectioned after that, man. You got R. Kelly molesting little girls. You got Michael Jackson, whose mom brainwashed him again towards his dad. Then obviously, what did he change his nose? Then he changed his nose. Said he didn't have a childhood. Started to think he was Peter Pan. Which grown man has a ranch in their house, man? And another thing, any black father is not going to send their kids to some weirdo's house who's got a theme park in the back garden, man. You think a grown man could come to my house and say, oh yeah, can your son come to my theme park in my back garden? No, man. Men don't fall for those silly things. Go ahead.
Husbands, love your wives.
And it says, husbands, love your wives. Now, love ain't just words. Love is actions. You know what love is? Tanya, you ain't wearing that short skirt today, man. You ain't going out in that short skirt. Love is saying, you ain't going out with that. You ain't going out with them hoes you met at work. That's what love is, man. Love is telling her you staying in the house today. Love is actions and you protecting her. That's what love is. Love is not putting her away. Love is keeping her, and love is that, man. Love is an action. Go ahead.
Husbands, love your wives, even as Yahushua also loved the church.
It says, love your wives, even as Yahushua loved the school, man. He loves the school, so what did he do? He taught Peter and passed it down and told him, do this, do that. That's how he showed his love, brotherhood. He died for these schools, man. That's love. Meaning what? You being a husband, if someone breaks into your house, we don't expect you to send your wife down. You're meant to go down, man. And that's how you love your wives. You're meant to protect them with every bone in your body. Don't be like these soft Christian men, both hiding behind the door calling 999. You see it, both hiding behind the door calling 999. You're meant to be a husband, a strong man. Go ahead.
And gave himself for it.
And did what?
Gave himself for it.
And you need to love your wives, and you need to be willing to lose your life for them, man. Someone breaks into your house, you don't send her down first. You don't do these things that you watch on these CBS reality things where a burglar breaks in and the husband says, oh, you can sleep with my wife, but please don't kill us. You ain't supposed to say that. You're supposed to, listen, before he even attempts to do that, make him kill you first, man. At least you tried. Or you fall on him, man. Go ahead.
God, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of the water by the word,
Go ahead.
that he might present himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle.
That's what Christ did, man. Died to present this school, man, without spot or wrinkle. And he washed it, cleansed it with the washing of the word, man, by them taking heed to what's written in these scriptures. Go ahead. Same like in your relationship, take heed to what's written in these scriptures to make your relationship last. Go ahead.
Or such thing, but that it should be holy without blemish.
But what?
That it should be holy without blemish.
Go ahead.
So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies.
And he says, so ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. Meaning, if you got a woman, you ain't supposed to, not give a damn about her, not look after her, not love her, not make her do the right things. You ain't supposed to make her go out anyhow doing anything she wants. She's supposed to seek counsel from you first, man. You're supposed to give her correct counsel. Go ahead.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh.
For what?
For no man yet hated his own flesh.
It says, for no man yet ever hated his own flesh. Meaning, this is your wife. Once you get married, you become one flesh. Meaning, you become one. Go ahead.
But nourisheth and cherisheth it.
But what?
Nourisheth and cherisheth it.
This is how it should be in a relationship, man. You're meant to not nourish and cherish it, man. You ain't meant to hate your own flesh. That's your woman, man. You made the decision to sleep with her, so you can't put her away all your days. Obviously, not every day is going to be good days. You're going to have the little tiffs or whatever they like to call them here and there. Go ahead.
Even as the Most High the church.
Go ahead.
For we are members of his body,
Go ahead.
of his flesh, and of his bones. For this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother.
It says, for this cause shall a man leave his father and his mother. Go ahead.
And shall cleave unto his wife.
And that's your wife now, man. You leave your mother and father. And this is your wife, meaning what? This is your family now. You see how your mother and father took care of you? This is your wife. Now it's time for you to not provide, because obviously that's a Christian way. They make it like a man has to work 2 jobs and 3 jobs, and that's a lie, man. Taking care of your wife is making sure she don't do nothing wrong. She don't go out there be hoeing, trying to be a hoe. You just keep her on the right track according to these laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what it means. Go ahead.
And they two shall be one flesh.
And you become one flesh. So once you get married, you're one flesh. Meaning you're no longer 2, you're no longer separate, you become one. Meaning you should be on one accord, one mind, one mind frame. You should be a team together, man. You see how a football team is members, but it's one team. You and your wife is one team, man. That's what I'm saying. This don't mean you can only have one wife, like Christians like to say, like these Christian Israelite groups like to say. I was gonna say something. Oh, like these Christian Israelite groups like to say, you and all your wives, man. You're one flesh with each, man. Go ahead.
But this is a great mystery. But I speak concerning Yahushua and the church.
And Paul was speaking concerning the school, but also you can apply it to your relationship. Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 24.
Ecclesiasticus 36:24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
He that what?
Getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Listen, the Lord said, a man that gets a wife gets a possession, man. When you possess something, what does that mean? That means you own it, right? Your wife, you own her, man. You tell her your minds and you're going to do as I say, man. He that gets a what?
Getteth a wife beginneth a possession.
Nah, man, it gets a 50-50 relationship.
Beginneth a possession.
Nah, it's 50-50.
Beginneth a possession.
He that gets a wife gets a possession, man. Your wife is your possession. And back in the days, you would pay what? A dowry. Back in the days, you'd pay a dowry. Now, if I go to the shop and pay for these glasses, what are they? The mine, right? You pay that father a dowry, man. That's yours now, man. It's your possession. That's how it works. But obviously, nowadays, people think, oh, that sounds so controlling. Because living under the white man, everybody's 50-50. And yeah, you just equal and whatnot. Go ahead.
Giveth a possession, a help like unto himself.
And when you get a wife, a possession, it's meant to be a helpmeet, like Adam had with Eve. She was a helpmeet to him. Your woman's meant to help you, not ridicule you, not put you down, not put you on child support. How's putting your husband on child support helping anyone, man? How's phoning the cops on your husband helping anyone? That's not being a good helpmeet. And this is why when choosing a wife, make sure you come in here, man, and let the generals and captains choose for you, man. A good woman that's well suited to you. Because if you choose for yourself, you ain't gonna have a clue who to go for. Go ahead.
And a pillar of rest.
And a what?
A pillar of rest.
And a pillar of rest. What does that mean? You're supposed to feel good. You're supposed to be able to relax, feel calm. I mean, you ain't supposed to have a wife and every time you go home, you have anxiety, panic attacks. You have them panic attacks. You have anxiety because of how horrible she is to you. The Lord said a pillar of. Doesn't say she's meant to give you anxiety.
And a pillar of rest.
See, the Lord didn't say she's meant to give you anxiety, man. The Lord said she's meant to be a pillar of rest. The Lord didn't say after work you go to the pub from 5 to 7 to the happy hour because you don't want to go home and face her. The Lord said a pillar of rest. You're supposed to have a woman and be like, you know what, she's a good woman, man. I'm looking forward to seeing her. Not hear her shouting before you even put your key in the door, man. Go ahead.
Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled.
Where what?
Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled.
Says where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. What's a hedge? A hedge is something that you put around something so anybody just can't come in. See, if you put a hedge around your house, the hedge is there so people just can't come in your house. Says where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. Now, the Lord requires a man to put a hedge around his woman, man. What's this hedge? You ain't going out today. You ain't doing this today. Check with me before you do anything. What does it say? Where no what?
Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled.
Where no hedge is, the possession is spoiled. If there's no hedge, anybody can just walk up in, man, and do whatever. If there's no hedge, your woman's just going to cheat on you with another man. If there's no hedge, you're going to be taking care of kids that's not yours, man. If there's no hedge, R. Kelly can come in, man. You seen that picture when R. Kelly has his glasses down and is looking like that? You seen it? Yeah. That main picture. If there's no hedge, R. Kelly's looking at your house with his glasses down like that, man. Thinking when he's going to come in, man. You need to put a hedge there, man, which is protection. Have a hedge around your woman, man. Meaning she takes orders from you. She does what you say when you tell her to. Because where there's no hedge, what?
The possession is spoiled.
And there you go. Where there's no hedge, the possession is spoiled. Where there's no hedge, your woman and kids is going to be spoiled. Where there's no hedge, the door's open to Michael Jackson to invite them to what's his ranch called?
Neverland Ranch.
Yeah. Where there's no hedge, Michael Jackson can just invite them to Neverlands now. Where there's no hedge, Santa Claus can invite them to his house that no one knows about in the North Pole. Where there's no hedge, your woman's just gonna do whatever she wants and allow your kids to do whatever they want, and the possession's spoiled. Go ahead. Meaning that's your possession, so you protect it. Something that you own, you protect it. If you ain't protecting one of your possessions, obviously someone's gonna take it, man. Go ahead.
And he that have no wife, who wander up and down mourning.
And he that have no wife, who wander up and down mourning. Meaning having a wife is a good thing, but nowadays we don't see the beauty of having a wife because most of these relationships is headaches, and most people don't even know the first steps to marriage. So most of these relationships is stress and headaches, and you split up after a week. 1 week, she's your woman. Used to fall out, you ain't spoken 2 weeks. Before you know it, she's got on WhatsApp, she's got another man's name in hearts and whatnot. You ain't that's how it is nowadays, man. She just becomes another man's possession, just like that. You ain't even confirmed to her that it's not working. But she's saying, it's not working with him, let me go be with someone else. Go ahead.
Verse 26. Who will trust the
that's it. Give me Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 33. So just make sure there's a hedge, man. Make sure you're in charge. The Lord said, Man's the head of the woman. Christ said to love your wives. And by loving your wife, you put a hedge there, man. You put a hedge around what you love. Now, say for instance, you love your car. Do you just leave the keys in the engine? No, you don't, man. You take them keys everywhere with you and you make sure it's locked properly. Same like your wife, man. Make sure you, like we say over here, make sure you got her unlocked, man. But according to society today, you're controlling. What else do they call you? Yeah, you're chauvinist. What is it? Not a feminist. What's the other one they call you? I can't remember what they call it. Is a male chauvinist? Oh yeah, male chauvinist. What's the next words as well? You're small-minded. That's a big one. You're small-minded when you say, yeah, I rule over my woman. That's how it should be. Women. Go ahead.
Proverbs 8:33. Hear instruction and be wise.
Says what?
Hear instruction and be wise.
And from your husband, man. Hear instructions and be wise. A wise person listens to instructions. Now, if your husband says, don't put on that short skirt, it's not that he's just some control freak. It's because he loves you, man, and he doesn't want other men to look at you like you're a hoe and treat you like you're a piece of meat. That's what it is. He don't want other men to look at you and be like, look at her, think you're cheap and speak to you like garbage. Be wise, man. Read that again.
Hear instruction and be wise.
It says, hear instruction and be wise. Usually when a man's telling you something, it's for a reason, man. He's telling you don't dress like that, it's for a reason. If he's telling you don't hang around with those women, it's for a reason. Because he probably knows them women cheat on their husbands 24/7, man. And you know how the saying goes, if one's that way, the rest are the same. So he just don't want you with them, man. Listen to wise counsel. Read it again.
Hear instruction and be wise.
It says, hear instruction and be wise. So if your husband instructs you on something righteous, just listen to his instructions and be wise. If you say to him, oh, can I go to the bar? And he says no, just don't go to the bar, man. It's that simple. Could be saving your life. There could be a reason why he's saying no. It's nothing to do with him being a control freak and so forth. Hear instruction and be wise. Go ahead.
And refuse it not.
And what?
Refuse it not.
And refuse it not. Don't be all up in his face saying, oh, I'm going to do as I please. You can't tell me nothing. You ain't my dad. Listen, when you lay down with that man and he becomes your husband, he's your daddy, man. What did you call it? Zaddy and all of them words. He's your zaddy, man. Meaning he's your daddy, man. You better listen to his instructions. Go ahead.
God. And refuse it not.
And refuse it not. Be wise and listen to instruction and refuse it not. Go ahead.
Blessed is the man that heareth me.
Blessed is the man that heareth the Lord, man. And the Lord's over Christ. Christ is over the man, and the man is over the woman. And the Bible says, be in subjection to your own husband, like he's the Lord himself. Read that last part again.
Blessed is the man that heareth me.
So when you obey your husband in righteousness, that's basically the Lord giving instruction, man. Listen to him. Listen to him like it's God himself giving you instruction, man. That's what you're supposed to do. You wouldn't tell God, now I'm putting on this miniskirt, you ain't going to tell me nothing. You wouldn't say that to God. So don't say that to your husband, man. You wouldn't tell God, you wouldn't say to God, you're what's the words to call them? Give me some words that you've probably been called in the past. Give me some. Not you, but whoever. I'm right as well. What is it? Good for nothing. You wouldn't tell God is good for nothing. You wouldn't tell God is you wouldn't tell God is good for nothing. You wouldn't tell God is worthless. So don't tell your husband that, man. Be in subjection to your husband, like how you're in subjection to God, man. It's that simple. Go ahead. You wouldn't tell God he's a good for nothing nigger and he's a bum and everything else. You wouldn't tell God that, so don't tell your husband that. Go ahead.
Watching daily at my gates.
That's it on that. Give me Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 1.
Proverbs
14 and 1.
Proverbs 14 and 1. Every wise woman buildeth her house.
It says, every wise woman buildeth her house. And a wise woman takes instruction, like we just said. It says, a wise woman buildeth her house. Meaning what? She takes care, man. Takes care of the house. Make sure her kids is straight. Make sure her husband's straight. make sure everything's right. That's what a wise woman does. A wise woman builds her house. What's a house? A house is what? Synonymous with family, man. Go ahead.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
The foolish what?
Plucketh it down with her hands.
Says the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. And why does it say with her hands, meaning by her actions? How do you pluck your house down? Child support. Kicking that man out of the house. Give me some next ways.
I'll cheat on him.
Yeah, by cheating on him, by doing whatever you like, going wherever you want, not following instruction. That's a foolish woman. She destroys her house, man. She destroys her marriage by her actions. She destroys her marriage by the way she behaves. Says a foolish woman plucks her house down with her hands, meaning her actions destroys this whole foundation, man. This whole marriage, this whole relationship. Read that again from the top.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but a foolish.
Says every wise woman builds her house.
But the
A
foolish.
wise woman, like we read in the last verse, takes instruction from her husband, obeys her husband like he's the Lord. Go ahead.
But the foolish plucketh it down by her own hands.
And the foolish plucks it down by her own hands. The foolish tears that house down, man. Read that again from the top. I love the scripture.
Every wise woman buildeth her house, but the foolish plucketh it down with her own hands.
And this is the problem, man. Plucks it down with her own hands, meaning her actions, man. That's what it says, plucks it down with her own hands. What do you do with your hands? That's how you carry out your actions. Meaning her dialing CSA, the number is, what is it? I'm not going to give the number just in case anyone online secretly watching. I'm going to call it on their man, man. I'm not even going to give the number. People calling CSA, people dialing 999, putting all their men's clothes in a rubbish bag and leaving it by the door. Don't even tie the bag properly, man. Don't even tie the bag properly. You pick up your bags and walk off it rips from the bottom, man. That's another problem. Now you're in the street picking up all them clothes, all the neighbors can see. This is the problem, man. A foolish woman plucks her house down. And when you pluck your house down, guess what happens? The kids also get destroyed because there's no man in the house. So once you pluck that house down, guess what these kids want to do? Have a crush on their mom like R. Kelly did. Ask their mom to marry them like R. Kelly did. What else did he do in the video? Kiss the lip, put on lipstick. Because obviously all you see is your mom. So you start putting on women's high heels because you got no male role model around. So all you have is your mom. You see your mom doing her makeup. You see your mom doing her makeup. So what do you want to do? You want to put on makeup. You put on women's heels and your mom laughs about it. Whereas your father now, your father sees you putting on any heels. He's going to uppercut you out them heels, man. He's going to uppercut you out them heels, man. And you're going to remember for next time not to even try it. But when you grow up in single parent homes with just your mom, your only role model is a woman. So you start to act feminine. You start to want to put on lipstick. You want to start to put on dresses. You start to put on your mom's clothes, put on your mom's heels, put on your damn mom's fishnets, and you think it's all right, man. And then your mom laughs about it, thinking it's funny. They laugh about it, thinking it's funny. Taking pictures, posting it to Instagram. Whereas any father would never laugh about that. Any real black man would never laugh about that. If you are going to put on shoes, put on your dad's boots, man, if you're a boy. Put on your dad's boots and your dad's headpiece, man. And your father should be your role model. And a wise woman builds her house, man. And a wise woman would understand that her son's role model should be his father and not some woman. Go ahead.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands.
But the foolish plucketh it down with her hands. You destroy that house. You destroy it from the foundation, man, which is you and the husband. You destroy the foundation of it. So the kids grow up the wrong way. The kids grow up to be what? Criminals, drug dealers, murderers, and so forth. Give me Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 14.
Proverbs 4 and 14. Enter not into the path of the wicked.
Enter what?
Not into the path of the wicked.
And if you and another thing that happens a lot, man, you'll be having an issue with your man. So what do? You go to your friends for counsel. Women love to go to their friends for counsel, especially single ones. They go to their single friends for counsel. Go ahead.
And go not in the way of evil men.
Go not in the way of evil men, evil women. Go into evil. You go into evil people to counsel. You go into single people who's never been in a relationship for counsel. You go into women who change men every week for counsel. How can they give you good counsel, man, when they're evil and they don't even understand the basis? Go ahead.
Avoid it. Pass not by it.
Do what?
Avoid it. Pass not by it.
It says avoid it and pass not by it, man. Don't even go to them. Don't be going to outside sources for counsel. If you are going to get counsel, get it from somebody righteous. Don't be going to 50 different people. Don't be phoning all your friends saying, oh, my man done this to me. He cheated on me. You going to a single woman about, oh, how your man cheated on you. What do you think she's going to say? Leave him. She's going to say, oh, the guy that I'm seeing, he's got some good friends. Before you know it, man, you're full on committing adultery. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
For what?
For they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
And the people you go to for counsel, they can't even sleep at night, man. These women that you're going to for counsel, they can't even sleep at night until you're single like they're single. That helps them sleep at night, man. Do you know how much relationships are ruined by other people's influence? You taking counsel from the wrong people. You taking counsel from women that have been single forever. Most women take counsel from who? Beyonce, and most people take counsel from Beyonce to the left. Meanwhile, what Beyonce, Jay-Z so-called what cheated on Beyonce, and who did he cheat on her with? Can't remember what her name was. Jay-Z so-called cheated on Beyonce, but guess what? She's still with him. I'm sure they got twins now, have they? Yeah. She got twins. This is what I'm saying, man. Jay-Z has so-called cheated before the twins. Beyonce tells you to the left, everything he owns in a box to the left, in the closet. I know the whole song, irreplaceable. She was it in the closet. That's my stuff. Yes, you brought it. Please don't touch all of these songs, man. You listen to these songs, you turn the volume all the way up to volume 100. You get in your feelings. Before you know it, you're telling that man to the left. And then, meanwhile, Beyonce, she's cuddled up to Jay-Z every night, man. She's just got twins. How much kids has she got? 3. Yeah, she's got 3 kids. Meanwhile, she's got 3 kids and she's in a relationship with the same man. Meanwhile, you've got 3 kids for 3 different men because you took advice from Beyonce and you plucked your house down when all you had to do was just be calm, get counsel from righteous men, and they will tell you the right thing to do. Stay with your husband. You open your legs to him. He's your husband now. That's what good counsel would be. But you listen to women who tell you, oh, just leave him and find another man. Listen, I've got a cousin who's got she's got 4 kids, man. And she's got 4 kids by 4 different men. And she don't realize that she's the problem. So you mean to tell me every man you be with, they're the problem. And you haven't looked in the mirror and said, maybe I'm the problem. You haven't looked in the mirror and said, maybe I'm a headache and no man can't put up with me for longer than 5 minutes. You haven't looked in the mirror and realized maybe I need to change. But no, men are the problem. So now you've got 4 kids. You've got 4 kids by 4 different men. Imagine how much petrol that is, man, dropping 4 kids off at 4 different fathers' houses. Whereas you could have 1 father, man, for the kids. If you just be humble, man, and remain in your marriage and seek righteous counsel and think before you do anything. You could have 1 husband, have all your kids with 1 man, instead of dropping your kids off, 1 at Craig's, 1 at Tyrone's. One of the other men don't want to know the kids, so that one goes to your mums. Then the other one goes to your aunties. You could have your kids. Imagine all your kids could be with 1 man. Imagine all your kids have the same surname, not different surnames, man, not different fathers. Just imagine how beautiful that would be. Now these other nations, they've got that. You tell me one, obviously there's a few, but the majority, you tell me one East Indian who has kids with 3 different men. That's rare. You know what they would do? They'll send them back to Pakistan and do an honor killing, man. They go ahead.
And even if this happens, it's frowned upon.
Exactly.
No, it didn't happen. They were like, should keep it quiet, silent.
They're ashamed. They're ashamed. They don't want nobody to know. But us, like, we parade it, man. We put it on Facebook, man. We put that you change your relationship status on Facebook, man. It was married last week. Now it's single. That's what we do. Go ahead.
Verse 16. For they sleep not.
And listen, your single bitter friends, they don't sleep at night until you're single like them. This is what they say to you. Don't worry, we'll go out Saturday, we'll find you somebody. Just like that, just like that. And then what happens? You get with another man. It's no different to the last one you was with. Before you know it, you're doing the same thing all over again. Go ahead. Go ahead.
It said, they have done mischief.
And they can't sleep at night, man, except they've done mischief. They can't sleep at night unless they've ruined your relationship. They don't sleep, man, unless they've ruined your relationship. So don't be taking counsel from your single friends who's bitter, who hate black men, who hate your relationship. The truth is this: most of your friends hate on your relationship. They'll be talking about you behind your back, saying, "Oh, her man controls her." They say to you, "Oh, your man controls you." You know what you're supposed to say when they say that? Say, "Yeah, he doesn't. And this is why my relationship works."
God.
Say, "Yeah, he doesn't. This is why." Say, "Yeah, he doesn't. This is why I've got somebody to cuddle at nighttime." Say, "Yeah, he does, and this is why I'm just not some woman that he comes around for sex, and before he finishes, his car engine is already running, man. His car engine is already running. He tells you he's going toilet. You're waiting in the bed for him to come back. That car engine's running because he don't want to be around you, man. Tell them, yeah, my man does control me, and this is why our relationships worked. This is why we've been together so long, because I'm a good woman who knows how to humble myself. I'm a woman who knows a man is in charge. I'm a good woman who knows this ain't no 50-50 relationship. 50-50 relationships don't last, man. Just look at it. Your parents was in a 50-50 relationship. Where's your dad now? He ain't with your mom no more. Where's your mom? She ain't with your dad no more. They both got new partners. Their new 50-50 relationships didn't work, and so forth. Go ahead.
For they sleep not, except they have done mischief.
And they can't sleep, man, unless they've done mischief. They can't sleep at night unless they've ruined your relationship. Go ahead.
And their sleep is taken away.
That's it on that. Right, go on, read on.
Unless they cause some to fall.
And their sleep is taken away. Meaning what? They stay up all night plotting and how they can ruin people's relationships. There's some people out there that just want to ruin your relationship. There's some people out there that are jealous and that are bitter and that are going to lie on your relationship and so forth. It happens out there. If you don't believe me, just look at why most people split up. Because he said, she said. That's often the case, man. He said, she said. And also, problems in your relationship, the whole world don't need to know. It doesn't need to go on Facebook. It doesn't need to go on Instagram. The whole world don't need to know. Because then you tell the whole world. And then when you and your partner are back on good terms, everyone's laughing at you. Because you've just revealed all your business. 1 minute you're talking about how much you hate your relationship, your partner. Next minute you see them in love pictures together with love hearts. Everybody's laughing at you, man, because you didn't know how to keep your mouth closed. You didn't know how to keep your relationship off the internet, how to keep your relationship off Facebook. Listen, and it's not really men who do it, it's women who do it more. Men are more, anything going on in their relationship, it don't go on Facebook, and they just continue they just continue as normal. Women be changing their WhatsApp status, trying to get some attention, changing your WhatsApp status, changing your profile picture every second, putting all these emotional songs up. Listen, man, when you do that, you just leave yourself open for a next man to jump in your DM saying, also, you're single. You just leave yourself open for a next man to jump in your DMs and want to invite himself round and whatnot. Go ahead. Give me Mark chapter 3 and verse 27.
Mark 3 and 27. No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No what?
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
It says no man can enter into a strong man's house. You know why? Because obviously that man's strong. You can't enter his house while he's there. You can't enter a strong man's house while he's there. Go ahead. Just think about it. You can't enter a strong man's house while he's there. Go ahead.
And spoil his goods.
And what?
And spoil his goods.
So you can't enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. What's the strong man's goods in his house? His wife, his children, his possessions. You can't take those things. Because why? There's a strong man there that's not going to allow you to. There's a strong man there that's not going to let Michael Jackson invite his kids to the Neverland Ranch. There's a strong man there that's not going to let R. Kelly pick up his daughter. There's a strong man there that's not going to let you pick his daughter up in a Cadillac because you got money. A man's going to be like, listen, if R. Kelly comes to a strong man's house and wants to take his daughter, he's going to knock R. Kelly's teeth out, man. Rob Kelly's going to be flying from them. He's going to believe he can fly from them uppercuts, man. He's going to fly, man. Go ahead.
Except he will bind the
Except
strong
what?
man. Except he will bind the strong man.
So to enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, you have to bind the strong man. How do you bind the strong man? By a foolish woman plucking her house down, man. A foolish woman destroying her house with her hands. Meaning by her actions, child support, kicking him out, telling him, getting a, what is that, injunction, getting an injunction on him, meaning he can't be within 100 meters of you. He's not allowed on the street. That's how you bind the strong man. So once you do all this, and that strong man's no longer in the house, once that strong man's no longer in the house, that house is open to anything, man. Them goods is going to be spoiled. Them kids is going to be spoiled. Now, growing up, most kids don't like their dads because their dads are strict. Growing up now, I never used to like my dad. I thought, damn, he's too strict. But now, growing up now, I realize why my dad was strict, man. Because my dad was a strong man that didn't want his goods to be spoiled. Meanwhile, my mom didn't understand. Meanwhile, kids ain't scared of their moms. Listen, growing up, my mom used to tell me, oh, you're not going out today. You would just hear the door shut. As my mom saying no about that, the door would shut, man. Now, if my dad tells me I'm not going out, I'm in the house, man. I'm in the house. Listen, my dad was so strict, we weren't even allowed to play out the front. We was only allowed to play in the back garden. We was only allowed to play in the back garden. Now, once my mom got my dad kicked out and binded the strong man, that's when we started playing out the front, man. And started causing mischief, being rude and disrespectful and so forth. Go ahead.
And then he will spoil his house.
And what?
And then he will spoil his house.
So once the strong man's out the house, his house is spoiled, man. These goods is spoiled. Them kids do anything they like. Them kids run rampant, man. Them kids be wild. Guess what? Them kids start to have Rambo knives now, have zombie knives now. Because obviously, women can't raise men and daughters, but men can raise both. You know why? Because a daughter will see her father and be like, the way my dad is, I need a strong man like that. And then straight away she'll just see any sister that comes up, she'll know this man ain't for me, man. She'll know there's a war going on outside. Listen, in London, 5 people's already been murdered. And what's these Christian men doing? Playing tambourines, man. God. People are being murdered and they're playing tambourines and singing and dancing. People are being murdered and they're playing piano. Listen, those ain't men in the church. You know why them men are in church playing tambourines and piano? Because read that about the strong man in their house was binded. Read that again.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Meaning your sons won't be Christian if their dad was in the house. Did you know that most black men hate church, man? Most black men can't even identify with church. Even before the truth and I was a so-called Christian, I used to look at these men and say, damn, I can't go to church. I used to say to myself, these people are going to heaven. There's no way I can make it, man. Because them men were soft playing tambourines. They were soft playing tambourines. I used to look at them and be like, damn, if this is what it's going to take for me to get to heaven, I don't think I gave up. I realized I wasn't going to heaven. I realized I wasn't going to go to heaven. From when I seen these men singing and playing the tambourine, talking about being in the choir, calling everybody brother, you pastor with his soft-spoken voice, I realized, you know what, I'm not going to make it to heaven because I'm not soft like these men. I don't play no tambourines. I don't play no guitars. I don't dress in all white like Rikashia Salaka. I don't dress in all white like Rikashia. I realize I ain't going to go to heaven, man. read that again.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No man can enter into a strong man's house. The reason these men are so soft is because they've let men enter into their house, man. Meaning they've bound the strong man. They've let the white man enter into their house. They've let the white man take control of their relationship. Really? You think that's your wife? That's the white man's wife, man. Yeah, she goes to child support. The white man's her daddy. Go ahead.
And spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man.
And that's how they bind the strong man. They get the strong man out of the way. They have to take you out the way. And this is why there's an agenda to get black men out the house. Because he's the strong man. Now, if every black man was in the house would be a better place. These kids wouldn't be in prison. The murder rate wouldn't be 5 already. They said going into 2019, 5 people's been murdered. What date are we on today? The 9th of January. It's only the 9th and 5 people have lost their life already. Now, if black man was in the house, there was a 14-year-old that got killed. He was riding his moped. It said a car drove across the road, knocked him off his moped, and they stabbed him 7 times, man, until he died. He's a 14-year-old. Now, if their fathers was in the house, they would teach their sons, don't murder nobody. They would teach their sons, don't be a drug dealer. Don't do anything which is going to put you in a position to get yourself murdered, man. Go ahead, read on.
And then he will spoil his house.
And then what?
He will spoil his house.
And now, the white man, the black man that's meant to be in your house, your husband, he's the strong man that's been bound. Now the white man's entered into your house. Child support's come now. Everything else has come now. He's bound. These kids do whatever they want now. These kids only see their father. Every time they see their father, it's probably once every weekend. They're going to be like, oh, I want to see my dad on the weekend. He can't tell me nothing. People look at it like, my dad can't tell me nothing. Most people hate their dads now because you've got this strong man bound. And them kids have been spoiled. And now the white man's in the house teaching, oh, it's 50-50. Your father disciplines, you call child line. Did you know that kids can call, if you slap them now, they can call child line? Listen, growing up in my day, man, there was no such thing as child line. With my dad, he hardly had to beat me. I was so scared of him, man. His voice was so loud, man. Listen, my dad was a wrestler that was loud, man. His voice was strong. And listen, when he used to raise his voice, you know what time it is. He sounded like a lion. You see when the lion roars? That's how my dad sounded, man. You'd cry before he would even beat you when he raised his voice. But obviously, my mom would talk all day. Don't do that. Don't go outside. You just hear the door shut. My mom would say, don't do this. Don't do that. Me and my other brothers would do whatever we wanted. You know why? Because the strong man was bound. And kids ain't scared of their mothers. Listen, even for kids 3 and 4 ain't scared of their mothers. A mom can tell you 1,000 times, do this, do that. 9 times out of 10, the kid ain't going to do it. The dad says it once. The kids listen straight away, man. Because the Lord put the man in charge. That's why the Lord set up the family that way. The Lord set it up that way, man, that the man's in charge. But obviously, if you be a foolish woman and pluck your house down, your kids ain't going to listen to you, man. Give me Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 4.
Proverbs 12 and 4. A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
A what?
A virtuous woman is a crown to her husband.
It says a virtuous woman is a crown to her husband. What's a virtuous woman? A virtue is someone with skills, man. A woman with multiple skills. A woman with virtue. That's what that's talking about. A virtuous woman, man, is a woman with multiple skills. Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. A lot of women think they're virtuous, but they ain't. A lot of women think they got virtue, but they ain't, man. You find women with virtue in the I.S.U.P.K, man. That's got multiple skills, can do everything with their hands, man. That can sew, that can cook, that can do this, that can do that, and so forth. Go ahead.
But she that maketh ashamed is as rottenness in her body.
But she that what?
That maketh ashamed.
But she that maketh ashamed, man. She that maketh ashamed, meaning what? You're ashamed unto your husband. Your husband, listen, people be saying to your husband, like, oh, your ribs acting up, and he puts his head in his hands, man, like, oh, she's out of control, I can't control her, man. You have rottenness in his bones, Craffy. You've seen them people where their woman's acting up and you just look at them, you can tell they're depressed, in it. My brother's like, this is what he looks like this. A man will say, oh, your ribs acting up again. He'll be like, I can't control her, man. I can't control her, man. Meaning, and you're meant to be a virtuous woman, you're meant to be a crown. Your husband's meant to be like, I'm glad I don't have that problem. My rib's a good woman. Your woman's a good woman. takes care. You come home from work. Craft, you see when I come home from work and open the door. As soon as I put the handle down and open the door, I expect to hear that microwave go ping and my dinner's warmed up, man. Not go get your own food. Not go do everything yourself. Listen, if you have to do everything yourself, what is the point in you having a wife? The Lord said a woman's meant to be a helpmeet, meaning meant to help you out. What's the point in having a wife that ain't gonna help you out? What's the point in having a wife that ain't gonna do the wife duties, man? What's the point in that? What's the point in having a wife that's just gonna give your kids over to R. Kelly, man? Because R. Kelly's got money. What's the point in having a wife that's gonna where did he take them? Did Chicago? Did he used to lock them in the room? Exactly. Give it. What's the point in having a wife that's going to give your kids up to a rich man because he's got money and allow your daughters to become whores and have sex in a tour bus? Go ahead.
God. The thoughts of the righteous are right.
The what?
The thoughts of the righteous are right.
The thoughts of the righteous are right. And you see, if you got daughters, make sure you protect your daughters, man. Make sure you protect your daughters. Don't ever put your kids in a position to be molested. Did you know a lot of these parents put their daughters in positions to be molested? How is your daughter gone for a day and you don't even know where they are? You don't even question it. Listen, you better give your daughter a curfew, man. Give your daughter a curfew. What does the Bible say? Take care of their body. God. Meaning, don't let your daughter be no home. Don't let your daughter grow up too fast. Don't be having your daughter 7 getting their nails done and makeup and weave. Let your daughter be a child. Don't make her grow up too fast. Because you know what's going to happen? She's going to grow up too fast. She's going to be opening them legs fast to every man. She's going to be opening them legs fast. Listen, she's going to be opening them legs faster than, what's his name? Ferdy. Ferdy coming fast. Is that his name? She's going to be opening her legs that quick, man. If you're from the UK, everyone knows who Ferdy is. Go ahead, read that again.
Okay, the thoughts of the righteous are right.
What verse, yeah?
Verse 5.
Was it Proverbs 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
The thoughts of the righteous are right.
The thoughts of the righteous are right. And especially if you got a husband in the I.S.U.P.K, you better honor him and respect him, man, and reverence him. Because he loves you dearly, man. He loves you so much, man. He tells you ain't going out dressed like that. He loves you dearly. He's telling you ain't going to church on Sunday. He loves you so much, he tells you ain't going to that party because we don't celebrate birthdays. We serve the Lord, man. Meanwhile, your friends say, oh, her partner is so controlling. Guess what? While these women is 60 and single, while these women is still searching for love on Tinder at the age of 60, these women is still on all these dating apps at the age of 60, your friends, and no man wants them. You're going to be happily married. You're going to have someone to cuddle up to. You're going to have someone to love who cares for you, man. Go ahead.
But the counsel of the wicked are deceit. But
the counsel of the wicked is deceit. So yeah, don't get counsel from your single friends who think they know everything. Who says I'm Miss Independent. Listen, all these women who say they're Miss Independent, they're having sex with multiple men, man. It ain't hard to tell. Listen, we know these things, man. It ain't hard to tell. She's Miss Independent to you. But really, she's crying and praying for a man at nighttime. At nighttime, she's praying for a man. Meanwhile, she's telling you to leave yours. Don't take counsel from these silly women, man. That's all. Give me 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. Everything I'm telling you, you've seen it all, man. We ain't lying. Let me know when you get there. 1 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 9. And also, any questions, just type them in. Is there any questions on the YouTube or the Facebook?
Yeah. 1 Timothy 2 and 9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel.
Do what?
Adorn themselves in modest apparel.
The Bible says women adorn themselves in modest apparel, man. What's modest apparel? You got your behind covered, man. You ain't got your cleavage on show. Don't allow your daughters to have their cleavage on show. Don't allow your daughters to dress like hoes and so forth. Bring them up righteously. Teach them, look, all these women that are in the world, teach them how wicked that is. Teach them the right way. Go ahead.
With shamefacedness.
It's shamefacedness. Women, man, you got to be humble, shamefaced, have humility, Have some tenacity. Go ahead.
And sobriety.
And sobriety. Go ahead.
With braided hair or gold.
Read that again.
In like manner, also let the women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls.
Says not with broidered hair or gold or pearls. Now, does this mean you can't wear gold or pearls? No, it don't mean that. It just means don't make this be the main focus. Don't make this be you. Like, don't make this be what people know you for. Yeah, nice hair and gold, short skirts. Make people know you for being a good woman, man. Now, this scripture is not saying you can't have gold. Christians will read this and say, oh, you're not meant to braid your hair. You can't have gold. Listen, you can have gold, man. But don't be known for those things. Be known for being a good woman. Like, there's more to life than these things. That's what it's saying. Go ahead.
Or costly array.
Or what?
Or costly array.
Basically, what Paul's saying right here is don't be like Steph London, man. That's what he's saying right here. Don't be like Steph London, known for looking beautiful with the makeup or the gold, so forth. He's saying be known for being shamefaced, man. Go ahead.
But which becometh women professing godliness.
But don't be known for gold and hair broided and a loud mouth and makeup and eyeshadow and matte makeup and talking about, oh, I need to beat my face and blah, 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 blah. Don't be known for taking 3 hours to do your makeup. Don't be known for that, but be known for, go ahead.
Women professing godliness.
Be known for women professing godliness. Be known for being a good woman to your husband. Be known for that, man. Be known for being a good wife, humble, showing humility and so forth. Go ahead.
And good works.
And what?
Good works.
And what?
Good works.
Be known for good works. Don't be known for the makeup. Be known for good works. What's a good work? Making sure your husband's ate, man. Making sure there's food cooked. Making sure everyone's straight, man. Making sure them kids is doing the right thing, man. With good works. Go ahead.
Let the woman learn in silence.
Let the what?
Let the woman learn in silence.
This is talking about when they're in the school. Let the woman learn in silence. Go ahead. You want some cashew nuts? You want some cashew nuts? Some cashew nuts. Yeah.
With all subjection.
With all subjection, man. Go ahead.
But I suffer a woman not to teach.
And he suffers a woman not to teach, meaning a woman ain't meant to be teaching the Bible. Trying to teach, man. Trying to teach your husband. Well, this scripture says this. You know the women that try and teach you, oh, wow, that scripture says this. Go ahead.
Nor to usurp authority over the man.
Nor to usurp authority over the man. Not to try and take authority that wasn't given to them, man. That's what it means to usurp authority. Go ahead.
But to be in silence.
Go ahead. What verse yet?
For Adam was first formed.
What verse yet?
13.
Yeah, go ahead.
For Adam was first formed, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived was in the transgression.
And the woman being deceived was in the transgression, man. Didn't obey her husband. Go ahead.
Notwithstanding, shall they be saved in childbearing if they continue in faith?
And women are saved in childbearing, meaning when you give birth, you go through all that pain, man. Go ahead.
And charity and holiness with sobriety.
Give me a 1 Peter 3:1.
1 Peter 3:1. Likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands.
No, be in subjection to your pastor.
To your own husbands.
Be in subjection to the white man.
To your own husbands.
Be in subjection to your own husband, man. You read it earlier. Be in subjection to your own husband. That's the man you decided to lay down with, man. Go ahead.
That if any obey not the word, they also may without the word be won by the
meaning what?
conversation
Meaning
of
what?
life.
If you're a woman in the truth and your husband's not in the truth, read that again.
That if any obey not the word, that also may without the word.
Meaning, if your husband's not in the truth, but you are in the truth, go ahead.
Be won by the conversation of the wife.
By you being a good woman, by you being a good wife, You might win your husband over and make him want to come in the truth, man. Imagine you're a sister in the truth, your husband's in the world. He sees that you're a good woman, you do all your womanly duties, you understand that he's in charge, you obey him, every righteous order he gives you, you obey him. You do the right things. Remember, he's in the world, he's seen all this, and then he goes to his friend's house, who's also in the world. His woman's in the world too. And he sees that woman fighting with her husband, abusing him, swearing at him, throwing his clothes out. Your husband's going to be like, you know what? I got a good woman, man. Maybe that school that she's in is teaching her something right. If your actions is righteous, he'll see it and be like, you know what? Let me check out what my ribs into, because I ain't all the way there, but she's treating me good. She does all of this and all of that. You might want to look at what you're into before you know it. Your man will come into the truth, man. Go ahead.
While they behold your chaste conversation.
While they behold your conversation. Now, if you're a sister in the truth and you're treating your husband same like women treat their husband in the world, how does that make you any different to them? That don't make you no different. So you need to be set at a higher standard. If you're a sister in the truth, you need to be set at a high standard, man. You need to win your husband over. Go ahead.
With fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning.
It says, let not yet adorning be that of the outward adorning. I mean, all the makeup, all the big earrings, all the blue weaves, all the red weaves, all the multicolored weaves. Let not it be that, man. All the eyeshadow, all the matte makeup. Let it not be that, man. Let it be a good conversation and your righteousness. Go ahead. What verse yet? Go ahead.
Plaiting of the hair and wearing of gold, or the putting on of apparel.
Let it not be the plaiting of hair or the wearing of gold. Let it not be these, as Benjamin's like to say, a bashment hairstyle. Is that you call the bashment hairstyle? Let it not be the bashment hairstyle. Let it not be all this gold that you've got. Don't let people know you for that, man. Let them know you for your good conversation and your good works. Go ahead.
But let it be the hidden man of the heart, in that which the spirit, which is in the sight of the Most High, of great peace.
And this is what I'm saying, man. That's great peace. You meant to bring great peace to your husband. Go ahead, let him on that. Give me Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 1. Also, any questions or comments or whatever, just type them in. Sorry, say that again. Ecclesiasticus chapter 26 and verse 1.
Ecclesiasticus 26 and 1. Blessed is the man that have a virtuous wife.
Read it again.
Blessed is the man that have a virtuous wife.
Blessed is the man that have a virtuous wife. You know, it's a blessing. Because the Lord said, man should not be alone. I'll make him a helpmeet. Now, if you got a virtuous wife, got a helpmeet, man, that's going to help you out. That's a good woman. That's going to listen to you. That's not going to kick you out the house. You lose your job. She's not going to say, well, because you've lost your job, you've lost me. She ain't going to say, you've lost your job, you've lost me, man. Get you a woman that rubs you back after a long day, man. Any coffee, you know about them beard rubs. No, them beard rubs. Them beard rubs after a long day. Go ahead.
For the number of his days shall be doubled.
For the number of his days shall be doubled. Meaning this man, he's going to be at peace, man. He ain't going to lose weight because you're stressing him out. He ain't going to have a heart attack because you stress him out. He ain't going to die of a broken heart because you stress him out. His days is going to be doubled. Go ahead.
A virtuous woman rejoiceth for her husband.
A virtuous woman rejoiceth for her husband, man. Respects her husband, reverences her husband. So don't tell him he ain't shit. Go ahead.
And he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace.
And he shall what?
Fulfill the years of his life in peace.
He shall fulfill the years of his life in peace, man. He don't have to be shouting and arguing with you on the road. He don't have to be trying to drive away from you and you're chasing him down in your car and whatnot. He don't have to come back to his car tires slip, his car window broken. You've spray painted cheat on his car. He don't have to live like that, man. This man right here that we're reading about don't have to live like that. Because he's got a virtuous woman that ain't going to slash his car tires, They ain't gonna cut up all his clothes. They ain't gonna damage his Jordans or whatnot. I see a lot of these videos on the internet, and these men look stressed, man. They look stressed and tired and look like they can't cope. They got some woman stressing them out, man. And this is why when choosing a wife, it's a very important thing. Get you a virtuous one. Go ahead.
Verse 3, a good wife is a good portion.
A what?
A good wife is a good portion.
A good wife is a good portion. A good wife is a good portion, man. And these right here, the things we're reading, is steps to being a good wife. Go ahead.
Which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Most High.
Says which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Most High. You know how you get a good wife that fears the Most High? By you being in the truth, man. Because you will know what to look for in a woman. You will know what a good woman is and what a bad woman is. Now, when you're not in the truth, you don't know what a good woman is. So you just settle with anybody, which this woman could ruin your life, man. This could be the evilest woman ever. Because when you're not in the truth and you get a woman that's not a good woman, you end up on child support. R. Kelly picks up your daughter in a Cadillac, takes her to Chicago, urinates on her, drops her back home. Drops her back home. That's what happens. That's what happens, man. Go ahead.
Whatever a man be, rich or poor, if you have a good heart toward the Most High, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful countenance.
So whether you're rich or poor, if you've got a good heart, a good mind towards the Most High, good conscience, keep the laws, you're going to rejoice, man. Whether you're rich or poor, you ain't got to worry about R. Kelly picking up your daughter, man. You ain't got to worry about child molesters molesting your kids. You ain't got to worry about your children going to church, because you're going to be there to say, listen, you ain't going to no church, and you're going to have a good wife that respects it, man. Go ahead. What if you got a woman that don't respect it? Your child's going to have birthday parties. Your child's going to have Christmas presents, Christmas gifts. Your child's going to have Easter eggs and Easter egg hunts. And guess what's going to happen? Your child's going to dislike you for not celebrating them things, man. Your child's going to be like, oh, my dad's so tight. He doesn't even get me a Christmas present. He doesn't get me this and that. Go ahead.
Verse 5, there be 3 things that my heart feareth, and for the 4th I was so afraid, the slander of a city, the gathering together of unruly multitudes.
The slander of a city, man. If you got a wicked woman, she tells one person about you, the whole city's slandering you, man. Everyone's speaking evil about you, speaking bad about you. Everyone knows your business, man. There was one woman talking about her husband. All he does is sleeps on the sofa with his dry feet. That's what she said, man. I'm not supposed to know if the next man's feet is dry, man. I'm not supposed to know if the next man's toenails is dirty and all he does is sleeps and fart in his sleep, man. I ain't supposed to know that. But women advertise it on Facebook. This is all he does. I'm not supposed to know these things, man. You're meant to keep these things to yourself. The whole world ain't meant to know that. Go ahead.
Gathering together of an unruly multitude, and a false accusation.
And a false accusation, man. Go ahead.
All these are worse than death.
All these are what?
Worse than death.
A false accusation. All these are worse than death, man. You're a male chauvinist, man. We ain't no male chauvinist. And go ahead.
But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another.
It says a grief and what?
A grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman.
A woman that is jealous over another woman. Meaning what? Obviously nowadays most women are taught to be jealous. They're just taught, all right then, their men can only have one wife and so forth. Whereas with the Bible, men have been having multiple wives for years, man. A woman is jealous over another woman. That's the most thing. Most women are jealous over other women, man. Go ahead.
And a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all.
Go ahead. And a scourge of the tongue which communicateth with all, man. Go ahead.
An evil wife is a yoke.
That's what these women do. Communicate with all. Let everybody know your business. Your business is all on the internet. She's outside your house shouting. She's outside your house shouting. All the neighbors know. Just the other day, one of my neighbors, the police came for him, man. His woman phoned the police on him, and she told all the other neighbors about this man. So now you don't live there no more, man. Go ahead.
An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro.
An evil what?
An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro.
An evil wife, yeah. It's like trying to control something wild, man. You're holding the yoke, it's going that way, that way, that way. You can't control it. An evil wife, you can't control the evil wife. Everybody knows this. An evil wife, slander you all day on Facebook. An evil wife, come to your job, man, and make you get the sack. She'll come to your job and make you get the sack. Which means what? You can't pay your rent. Which means what? You can't pay your car finance, your rent. Because an evil wife is a yoke. She says to you, she'll phone you 100 times, you don't pick up. She'll text saying, all right, you don't want to pick up the phone. I'll be at your workplace in 5 minutes. You're forced to pick up the phone, man. You're forced to pick up the phone, man. Imagine having all that drama. That's the evil wife. To where you're scared, man. You're saying to your work colleagues, say that I'm not here. Tell her it's my day off today. You're hiding, man. You see her in town. You see her in town, man. You hide in the shop until she goes past. That's the evil wife, which is a yoke, man. Just imagine having that stress on your head. That'd be horrible, man. Go ahead.
He that have hold of her.
He that have hold of her, meaning this is your woman. Go ahead.
Is as though he held a scorpion.
Is as what?
It's as though he held a scorpion.
Is as though you held a scorpion, man. What's a scorpion? A scorpion is it's like a snake, man. You can't hold it. It's here, there, everywhere. You haven't hold of this woman, an evil woman, an evil wife. That's what she's like, man. She can't be controlled. You see how people are beholding snakes and the snake be moving everyone, they're trying to control it like this and that. That's what you look like when you've got an evil woman. You can't control her. You can't control her. Everybody else knows you can't control her. And that's what it's like having an evil wife, man. This is why choosing the right wife is so important. And this is why it's important to know that sex is marriage, because this could be you. A woman slashing your tires, cutting up your clothes, coming to your workplace, shouting at you in front of your work colleagues, leaving your black bag of clothes at your workplace. Yeah, leaving your black bag of clothes at your workplace. Listen, these things happen. These things happen. Everyone knows I'm not lying. Go ahead.
A drunken woman is a gather abroad.
A gather is like someone that travels and moves around and so forth. That's that woman. She'll move around, man. Come to your workplace, go here, go there, so forth. Go ahead.
Causes great anger.
She causes great anger. Now she puts stress. She causes you to be stressed, man. Go ahead.
And she will not cover her own shame.
She will what?
Not cover her own shame.
She won't cover her own shame, man. Meaning she don't care. She will shame you and shame herself in the process. She don't care. She'll come to your workplace. She don't care how bad it looks. You see, whereas you're a man, you wouldn't argue with your woman in public. She don't cover her own shame, man. She argues with you all up and down Facebook and so forth. Go ahead.
The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks.
And the whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks. But most men love whores. Most men love whores in short skirts, high heels, all the makeup. Go ahead.
And eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless.
If your daughter be shameless, man, go ahead.
Keep her in straitly.
Keep her what?
In straitly.
And if a strong man was in the house and his daughter was shameless, he would keep her in straitly. He wouldn't allow her out. Go ahead.
Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
Lest what?
Lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty.
Lest she goes to R. Kelly's house, man. Lest she goes to Michael Jackson's house with overmuch liberty, with too much freedom. You give your kids too much freedom, R. Kelly's gonna beep when he pulls up outside the house, man, and they're gonna go. You keep them in straightly. Go ahead.
Yeah, you say how R. Kelly used to go to high schools and that
Oui.
at home time. You know, like you told your child to go straight home.
Exactly.
It would be stuff.
Exactly. They wouldn't be going to R. Kelly's, man, to be urinated on and whatever else is done, man. If you kept them in straightly and didn't give them too much liberty, which is freedom, give your kids a curfew, man. Keep tabs on your kids, know where they are at all times. Rule over them, control them. They're your kids, man. Go ahead.
Watch over an imprudent eye.
Watch over them, man. Go ahead.
And marvel not if she trespass against thee.
Go ahead.
She will open her mouth as a first traveler.
And everybody gets that. Just give me a 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 28.
First Corinthians 7 and 28. But if thou marry, thou hast not sinned.
So Paul say, this is Paul saying, obviously brothers don't need to get married, but if you do get married, you haven't sinned. Go ahead.
And if a virgin marry, she have not sinned.
Go ahead.
Nevertheless, such shall have trouble in the flesh.
Such shall what?
Have trouble in the flesh.
Now Paul says, such shall have trouble in the flesh, meaning you become one flesh. This is your rib. Now, in your relationship, obviously, sometimes you're going to have ups and downs. Sometimes you're going to have disagreements. Now, we ain't saying it's a fairy tale where everything's just going to be perfect from the get-go. You're going to have these little disagreements and these not fairy tales and these little problems, but you ain't meant to split up, man. You don't just split up off one argument. You make it work, man. This is your rib. You're together for life. You make it work. You don't just, a woman shouldn't just cut off her husband. A husband shouldn't just cut off his wife. You make it work. Jump down to verse 3. Up to verse 3.
7 and 3. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence.
And this is saying the husbands as well, man. Be kind to your wife. Benevolence is kindness. Your woman does good, man. Be kind, man. You know, you ain't got to be hardcore all the time. You can, you know, get your ribs something nice. Give a cup of coffee or whatever. Bring her a coffee to work or whatever. Go ahead. Go ahead.
And likewise also the wife unto the husband.
And also you wives, man, be kind to your husband as well. Go ahead.
The wife have not power over her own body.
The wife don't have power over her own body. Go ahead.
But
the husband has power over the wife's body, man. Meaning, obviously, what Paul's saying here is, this is mainly talking about sex, man. If your husband wants sex, you have sex with him, man. If your wife wants sex, you have sex with her, man. Go ahead.
And likewise also the husband have not power over his own body, but the wife.
And same like the husband don't have power over his own body. Your rib wants sex, man. You give her, man. And this is how you keep your relationship healthy. Keep at it all times, man. Go ahead.
Defraud ye not one another.
It says defraud ye not one another, meaning you don't have power over your body, so you can't say to your rib, "Nah, we're not having sex, this and that." When she wants it, you give her, man. This is how you nourish and keep your relationship going. Go ahead.
Except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again.
It says, except it be with consent, meaning you both agree to it. Except you both agree to it. All right, then we're not going to do this. We're going to blah, blah, blah. Go ahead.
Except Satan tempt you.
Except Satan tempt you. And how Satan will tempt you is, obviously, you and your partner will stop having sex. You'll stop being attracted to each other. Your rib will stop finding you attractive. You'll stop finding her attractive. Before you know it, you can't stand each other. Before you know it, you're going to end up like how my grandparents was. They live together because rent's expensive, but they got separate rooms, man. They lived together and they had separate rooms. My granddad's room was there. My grandma's room was there. Let me get one last scripture before we wrap up. So yeah, man. He said, give me a Hebrews 13 and verse 4. Accept it with consent, man. Sex is a big thing in the Bible, man. You meant to have it as much as you can with your rib, man. Nourish your relationship, keep it going. Keep you interested, keep her interested, man. Go ahead.
Hebrews 13 and 4. Marriage is honorable in all.
It says marriage is honorable in all, man. Marriage is an honorable thing. Go ahead.
And the bed undefiled.
And the what?
Bed undefiled.
The bed's undefiled, man. Meaning you can spice it up, man. It doesn't have to be boring like Christians. Christians teach you that it has to be just the normal. You can spice it up, man. You can do anything you want. You can do what's it called? What's it called? The bunny hop, like what's it called from Baby Boy? What's his name? Malvin. You can even do that if you want to, man. You can spice it up, man. The Lord says that the marital bed is undefiled, man. Meaning it doesn't have to be boring. Keep your relationship going, man. And that's how you keep it going. You nourish your relationship. Loads of love, loads of sex. Keep it going, man. You nourish it, man. And this what? Yeah, and just no sexual deviant stuff which is unlawful, man. But and whatever's lawful, the marital bed ain't undefiled, man. So you know, you can live a little, man. You ain't got thank the Most High for this scripture, man. The marital bed's undefiled, man. You don't have to be like these boring Christians, man, that believe, oh, you only do it because you want a baby, man, which is a damn lie. Listen, the marital bed's undefiled, meaning you can spice it up a little bit, man. Obviously, you want to keep your husband's interest. You can, you can go get an outfit and whatnot, so forth. You can go get an outfit and whatnot and spice it up, man. Do the bunny hop like Malvin from Baby Boy with the do the secret announcement, say we're up on the time.
Alright, with the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West 125th Street, Hard, New York, under Commanding General Yohanna, group for a new brother and sister. The new brother or sister come to school. They are off limits for 6 months. They are to be submitted only. They are against the south of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which a brother and sister will call each other. After the 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithe, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:10. We 10 for the Hebrew Ma'ashra, 10% of every penny of any increase in Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or the teacher. Priest fund, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you like to give. Upcoming holy convocations per room. That's the 18th of February and 19th of February. All active at the bulletin board in the hallway and all I.S.U.P.K social media. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and headscarf. And with that, I invite them. We start with the Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat, Shemayim, Kudash, Hayah, Shankar, Yahweh, Balak, Bakar, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Baratazah, Kawal, Hayah, Bashamayim, the Fananawa, the Kam, Cow, Yuam, what's the luck now? Kaba Wak now, Cast the luck now, Kaba Wak now, Walla Ah, W.I.N.A.W. Walla Saya 1, Abba, Hawashai Mayan, Right, Kaya, Naka, Hamalakwa, Waha Allah, Waha Papara, the Iwalamia, Aman. In English, our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day, our daily bread, forgive us our debts, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. And the prayer for the power of Hakah. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Baba Kushah, the Fananawa, Hakah, Lara Ba'ah, Kalmakala, Bakalmadawa, Hakah, Latahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakah, Lahakwiya, Hamakwiya, Hakah, Arakawa, Hatama Allah, Nagarishan, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Wada Ahmad. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, please give us the power to heal, all manner of sickness, all manner of disease, and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out, in the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be, and the blessings, Barakatah Yahweh, Wa Yahushai, Wa Milakah Wa ala hayy, wa tazabi ab, ala waqfi hanan, ha ala waqfi, ha suranyam, ha qatazayanyam, ha kaliyanyam, wa waqfi, Yahweh, wa Hashem Yahushai, the word Aman. In the English, bless you Yahweh, and Yahushai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yohanna, the general, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, thank you, so be. Bless you Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, all things living, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, listen to us now, right now, send evil, curses, punishment, and destruction, and death to the heathen that speak against us, by prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the schools, send evil, and curses, punishment, and destruction, and death to the heathen, and shake loose the pockets of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school, force their riches, to enter into thy sanctuary, send evil, curses,
punishment,
and punishment,
destruction,
and destruction,
death,
and death
to the Edomites,
to the Edomites,
nation,
and the nation,
the drug dealers,
and the drug dealers,
the court system,
the court
the
system,
prison system,
the prison
Planned
system,
Parenthood,
Planned
all the
Parenthood,
governments of our enemies,
all the governments of our enemies,
Amalek, synagogues and armies,
Amalek, synagogues and armies,
Roman Catholic Church,
Roman Catholic Church,
Pope,
the Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology, militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Ku Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
Skinheads,
skinheads, hospital,
the gay movement,
the gay
the
movement,
lesbian movement,
the lesbian movement, spies,
works of witchcraft,
workers of witchcraft,
NASA space program,
national space program,
Army,
Navy,
Air Force,
Marines, Wall Street,
open up the internet,
the
and the airways,
and the airways,
cable access channels,
the cable access
and
channels,
the radio channels,
and the radio channels,
convict the spirit
of
of any of thy people,
people
seek to stop us,
that seek to stop
and
us
brings with death,
and brings to death
all the heathen,
to all the evil
stand in the way,
that stand in the way,
try to stop
but
us,
try to stop us
from broadcasting your words,
from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose
all the terrorists,
all the terrorists,
cause them to go,
cause them to go to and
to
fro
the air,
to the earth
and destroy
and destroy,
all the terrorists,
cause the terrorists
come against America,
to come against America
destroy them
and destroy
in
them
their stronghold,
in their stronghold.
let America shake,
Let America shake
at the hands
at the
of
hands
the terrorists,
of the terrorists.
Yahushua,
Let Yahweh shine,
Michael,
Gabriel,
and
Gabriel
come down,
come down,
flying saucers,
the flying saucers,
and kill all the heathen,
and kill all the evil
come up against us,
that come up against us,
speak thy word,
and speak thy word,
to be known,
cause it to be known by
that
all
is the angels
that is the
that
angels
have done it,
that have done it,
cause it to be spread,
cause it to be spread
to the media,
through the media
throughout the whole world,
throughout the whole world,
cause them to shake at thy coming,
cause them to shake at thy coming.
in the name of Yahushua,
In the name of Yahushua, thank you, always so be it. And bless Israel, Yahweh, Wa Hashem, Yahushua, Barak Hanah, Wa SHALAM, Wa Habayah, Sopayim, Barak Papa, Magan Hagan, the Gordon family, the Bennett family, the George family,
all Israel,
all Israel, Wa Hashem, Yahushua, the Word of Aman,
all
what we said of Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school, bless your shield, protect our loved ones, in the name of Yahushua, thank you, and so be it. With that, only one question to the teacher. Beneficial, I bought a Shabbat, I Madam, Barak, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai Brakatah,
Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Barakafam,
Yachamata, Saw, one question to the sisters. I bought a Shabbat, I Madam, Barak, Yahweh Shema, Ayatah, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Yachamata, class dismissed. PJ.